Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. And this week we're talking about insider trading. Yes, insider trading, the financial version of knowing the twist in a thriller before everyone else. Spoiler alert, it's always disappointing and often involves a white-collar criminal. So what is insider trading? Picture this. You're at a casino, you're playing poker, and suddenly you realize the dealer is slipping your opponent aces up his sleeve. That's insider trading, but in the stock market, it's when someone with access to non-public material information about a company uses that information to make a profit or avoid a loss before the rest of us common folk even know what's happened. The SEC are valiant watchdog, imagine Scooby-Doo, but with suits and calculators, defines it as trading a public company stock based on significant non-public information. It's like having a treasure map that leads directly to the chest of gold, while everyone else is still scratching their heads with metal detectors. But why does it matter? Well, for starters, it's fundamentally unfair. It's like running a marathon where some runners get to take an Uber halfway through. Insider trading undermines trust in our financial markets, making the rest of us question why we're even running. It erodes the level playing field that's supposed to exist, discouraging regular people from investing in the market. You know, regular people like your Aunt Karen, who still thinks blockchain is a type of Lego set. And the damage isn't just hypothetical. When insider trading happens, ordinary investors get burned. Imagine playing a game of Monopoly, where suddenly the banker decides to give themselves a few extra properties on the sly. Aunt Karen isn't going to want to play anymore. And that means fewer people participating in the market, which hurts everyone in the long run. Let's talk about some real-life villains. Picture this. It's early days of COVID-19 pandemic. While you and I were busy panic buying toilet paper and baking sourdough, rest in peace sourdough, some US senators were selling stocks like they had a hot tip from the virus itself. Senators Richard Burr and Kelly Loeffler were accused of dumping millions in stocks right after a confidential briefing on the impending pandemic. It's like getting a weather forecast predicting a hurricane and deciding to sell all your beachfront property just before the storm hits. Now they've both denied wrongdoing. Of course, Loeffler claimed her trades were handled by third-party advisors because nothing says plausible deniability like outsourcing your sketchy activities. Burr said his trades were based on public news reports, which is a bit like saying you just happened to guess the ending of every single episode of Game of Thrones before it aired. But wait, it gets even juicier. Have you heard of whale trackers? These are tools that track the stock trades of market movers and shakers, big whales swimming in the financial sea. And some of the biggest, most suspicious whales are our very own politicians. There's even a portfolio that tracks the stock movements of US politicians. And get this, it's up almost 160% from last year. That's right, folks. Following politicians' trades is more lucrative than a hedge fund with a crystal ball. These politicians have to disclose their trades, but they've got up to 45 days to do it. That's like giving a bank robber a month and a half to report their haul, and some clever investors are capitalizing on this delay, turning C-SPAN into a high-stakes stock-picking tool. It's as if they've weaponized boredom to turn a profit. Who knew watching politicians drone on could be so profitable? And speaking of government activities with a massive impact on the market, let's talk about military defense spending. The US defense budget for 2024 is a whopping $141.4 billion. Yes, billion with a B. That's nearly the GDP of Switzerland. This budget supports everything from personal pay rises to high-tech weapon systems. It's like someone gave James Bond a blank check and told him to go wild. The budget includes $170 billion for procurement and $145 billion for research and development, ensuring the US maintains its military edge. It's not just about buying new toys. It's about ensuring they work and can annihilate hypothetical enemies we may or may not have in the future. It's like planning for a zombie apocalypse with laser-equipped sharks. The spending highlights include $61.1 billion for air power, including F-35s and the new B-21 bomber. $48.1 billion for sea power, building new ships and submarines. $37.7 billion for modernizing the nuclear arsenal. $33.3 billion for space capabilities, ensuring we can defend ourselves from threats, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial. All of this while also preparing for challenges from China and Russia, because why settle for one superpower nemesis when you can have two? And speaking of defense spending, let's not forget about the politicians who benefited from insider knowledge about military defense contracts. It's one thing to support the troops. It's another to profit from the contracts that supply their gear. For example, Senator Tommy Tuberville has been trading stocks in major defense contractors like Honeywell and General Dynamics while sitting on the Senate Armed Security Committee. It's like being both a referee and a player in a game where the stakes are billions of dollars. Other lawmakers like Republican Kevin Hern have also made suspicious trades. Hern bought shares in Lockheed Martin just before the company was awarded a $17 billion defense contract. That's like betting on a horse race after you've already seen the results. It's crazy. There's a long list of lawmakers trading defense stocks while shaping military policy, including Senator Gary Peters, Republican Rocco, despite the Stock Act of 2012, which was meant to curb insider trading. The practice persists. These actions have led to widespread public distrust, with many Americans supporting a ban on stock trading by members of Congress. So what can we do about this? First off, the SEC needs sharper teeth. I'm talking fangs, folks. They need to step up enforcement and make sure insider trading cases are prosecuted aggressively. We need laws with fewer loopholes than a Swiss cheese factory and penalties that actually deter this behavior. Secondly, real-time disclosures are a must. Politicians should report their trades immediately. If we have to watch them argue over the definition of infrastructure in real time, the least they can do is tell us when they are buying stocks. It's only fair. Plus, it'll give us something to watch while we pretend to care about bipartisan squabbles. Lastly, and most importantly, we need to stay informed. Knowledge is power, and if we can't beat them, we can at least understand what they're doing and call them out on it. And if all else fails, there's always world tracking. Keep an eye on those sneaky politicians, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one making 160% return next year. Insider trading is the epitome of financial sleaze, a dark underbelly of the stock market where only the well-connected flourish. But with stronger regulations, quicker disclosures, and a vigilant public, we can fight back against this financial fraud. So keep your eyes open, stay skeptical, and remember, the next time you see a politician making moves, it might just be worth checking out your own portfolio. Thank you so much for listening. Really do appreciate it. If you've liked this video, like, share, subscribe. To my listeners, peace, love, prosperity, and catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Running our lives behind the wheels. Senator sell stocks on a Monday night after a private meeting, out of sight, claiming innocence it wasn't me, while the bank accounts roll like a mighty tree. They're trading stocks with insider news. We're left out here singing the blues. Politicians and their secret deals, running our lives behind the wheels. In the dark of the night, they're dealing cards. Behind closed doors, they're playing hard. They got the inside scoop, we ain't got a clue. Making all the money while they pay our dues. They're trading stocks with insider news. We're left out here singing the blues. Politicians and their secret deals, running our lives behind the wheels.